Hi, and welcome to the Thinking Out Loud podcast, a show with meaningful conversations in English with non native speakers, like myself, Jendrek.
And myself, Masha,
And we are two English teachers who,
who have never met. I've been thinking about it. We've never
yes,
ever met.
yes, you're right. I mean, we've never met offline, you mean,
Yeah, this is what
obviously.
people call real meetings,
Yeah,
People use this word real.
yes.
So what we're doing is
Great
not
point.
real.
What we are doing is not real. Yeah, it's so virtual. And yeah, if you think about it just for a second, it's weird.
Very
You
weird.
know,
We
you're in
exist
Kiev.
only online.
We exist online. We've never met. Yeah, this is strange. I've been meaning to meet you for sure. But I guess the war complicated things.
A little bit.
Would be a little bit, yes. It would be much easier to just hop on the plane and land in Kiev or anywhere, and to meet personally, to cross that, geographical divide of the distance, right? But
In a
now,
year, people
yes.
might doubt if we even exist.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, this is really strange, and yet we are real people, right?
I don't know.
Yeah,
If you
yeah.
think too much
Masha,
about it, you may go crazy.
yeah, you may go crazy. It's true, and but I hope one day we'll meet, and I don't know, just be able to smell each other,
Ooh, that would be
But
disgusting.
I wonder, but I wonder what you are really like in offline. I mean, we would
It's
definitely not
actually
run a conversation like,
I remember I ran into one of my students who
Mhm.
I only met online, and
Mhm.
I ran into him when I was in the
Accidentally.
somewhere in yes, in the city center,
Whoa. Hmm.
and it's a very interesting feeling, I must say,
Hmm.
because you only see the face of the person, but
Yeah,
this
were you
is
even able
just a
to
part.
recognize the person?
Yes.
Because, all
Oh
right.
yes, but everything else, you suddenly see everything else,
I
how
have that
tall
feeling,
the
and you
person
probably,
is and how he
yeah,
walks.
yeah, exactly. There is so much about a person that
Yes,
is
yes.
not present online. We
Yeah.
are basically just some sort of distilled, beings, without so much our dimensions. I mean, the size and but even this, because I don't know if that really matters, but
It
you have
matters. It
certain,
turned out that it does.
yes, yes. I met a couple of my students who I knew before only online, and then I met them in a person, and very often I was surprised, really.
Yes,
Like
yes.
I met Grzesiek, for example, who is a giant, I would never say that when we meet online, or I met, you remember probably Zuza and Piotrek, and I was shocked. They actually came to France, and so we met here in the region. And I was surprised to see Piotrek, especially, who's a very tall guy, and I had a totally different imagination about him, because on the camera you can see that.
But you
Yeah.
you had arranged to meet, yes?
Well, this was
You
funny
didn't
because
run into each other.
no, of course not, of course not. It was arranged, but it was arranged between me and their mom, so they didn't know they are going to meet me there.
Mm.
So it was kind of a surprise.
But
But
still,
it was a
this
great,
feeling, when you run into somebody and like suddenly this person exists in this world, in your world.
yeah.
It's very interesting feeling. I don't
Yeah.
know how to
I
describe
mean,
it.
if I met you like this, like, somewhere in a shopping center or somewhere, and then of course, if I realized it's you, if I was 100%
Mm.
sure it's you, I guess I'd like to hug you, because it's
Yeah,
like, it's,
that's what I also
yeah,
felt, when I saw him, like,
yeah.
oh, but no, of course I didn't.
Yeah. So yeah, you're right. And I think the type of conversations that we could have offline would be totally different, right?
I don't
I
know.
doubt we would start by, what's the
What's the
difference between
difference? Yeah, but no,
meeting online and offline?
this is different because we are meeting with a purpose. We're not just meeting,
Yeah, you're right.
to
You're right.
chin wag as it was intended, and it never
It was
happened.
intended like
Ah,
this. Yeah, it's just record. But
let's start a spin-off, with this old
you
name,
mean
chin
oh
wag.
yeah, the chinwag. Yeah. But I wonder how would that actually differ from what we are doing,
No, I would
weekly.
say, how was your visit to the dentist? And you would just complain about your,
Yeah, you're right.
yeah.
You're right. That could be a real chinwag.
Mhm.
And yeah, there's, I've got some reflections that go even deeper than just, how was your visit to the
That's the
dentist?
problem with you, whatever you're talking about, even if it's something as mundane as dentist, you will always have some reflections. Can't you just chin wag?
Maybe it's a professional, yeah, maybe it's just a professional,
Defamation?
I mean, this would still, Masha, fit into ranting, It would be a rant, although
Okay.
it would be a deeper rant.
Okay, go
Oh, how
ahead and
about
rant.
another spin-off, deeper rants?
I would be too good at this, I don't want to even, I'm already excelling. So how was your visit to the dentist?
Look, it was okay. I mean, except like, I feel some anesthetic still working, and half of my face feels numb. But I've got other reflections about the
Of course you
costs
do.
of
Okay.
dental care.
Oh, come
And
on, don't even start.
yeah, but wait, but look, and how deeply unfair it is. And listen to this. Mm, and this is not about me right now. It's more about my son, because he had to have one of his teeth removed. Well, probably because he ate too much chocolate, all right. But anyway, and now
And it's your
the
fault at the
point
end
is,
of the day.
these are
And so you pay for it.
yeah. What's the name for these early teeth? We call
Milk?
them milk.
We also
Yeah,
call them
exactly.
milk teeth.
Oh, okay, it's fine. Yeah. Okay.
Let's call
So
them milk teeth.
they call them milk, whatever is the official name. And he had to have one of them removed, and because it is removed, so the real teeth, these again, I'm missing some
Permanent.
dental vocab. What?
Permanent?
Permanent.
That's going to stay with
Well,
you. If
yeah,
you're
okay, yeah,
lucky,
but
they're going to stay with you till the
yeah, you know what I mean. I guess everybody who's listening also know what I mean. So because of that, these permanent teeth may actually grow in kind of a skewed way, because there's no tooth right now. So there will be some sort of a deformation in the mouth. And you can imagine that the smile will not be as perfect as it
as Brad
potentially,
Pitt's smile. Yeah.
as Brad Pitt, yes. Although we don't know it, but there's a risk that, the teeth will be kind of skewed or something, it will not look perfect. And
Okay.
now, you have a choice. You can pay 1,000 euros to have uh, some sort of prosthesis, or some kind of mechanism that prevents this deformation, so that your teeth grow as they should, straight, let's say. Or you may skip that treatment, right? And risk some sort of deformation. Nobody knows how serious or how would that look, but definitely correcting it in the future may be either A, even more expensive, B, it might be more difficult, right? And now, what do you do? And in the name of what? Of having a beautiful Brad Pitt style smile to impress your future boss. And and you can imagine, where does it go? Or you accept that, okay, I'm imperfect, nobody's perfect, and my teeth are going to grow like, it was written in the stars, because I lost my tooth. Sorry, it's the same with scars, I guess, right? I mean, yeah, sometimes you have an injury, an accident, and you are left with a scar. And that is the dilemma. And look how deeply unfair this is, because you look at that bill, at that invoice, and you start thinking, okay, paying now, shelling out 1,000 euros. It is, let's say, uh, edible. You could do it, but in the name of what? You know, and it's a pity that my son, a 6-year-old, can't decide about it, and it's up to the parents, right? I wish he could make a mature decision. I want to be like this, or I want to be like that. But it pains me a lot because this is more like a aesthetic thing. It's not vital for your health, for your whatever. It's just an aesthetic thing to have a straight. I mean, to have a beautiful smile, or I know
I
what to
have a
say,
lot
less
of
beautiful.
hate comments on your Twitter about your parenting style.
Sorry, but what? Come
Greediness.
on. You want to say that? What would you do in this situation?
I
An
would do
expensive
nothing.
treatment?
Nothing.
You would leave it
Yes.
the way it was written in the stars.
Yes. Yes.
But is there a financial reasoning behind this, or
No.
no?
No. No. I mean, well, I mean, of course there is. If I
Yeah, I mean, if
was
that was
Bill
20
Gates,
euros, I mean, yeah, I'm paying, right?
yeah, but since
Of
it's a
course.
substantial amount for me, and from what I know about dental care, there is absolutely no guarantee. I don't know about this stage, but what we faced with is this braces. Yes, at certain
Yeah,
age,
yeah.
that's what you do.
Mhm.
But it didn't help. I mean, as soon as they were taking off, uh, everything came back.
You talk about your experience?
Yeah, with one of
All right, all right.
my children.
Mm-hmm,
And
mm-hmm,
right now, okay, their teeth are not, I mean, aesthetically not
mm-hmm.
perfect, but this is, I mean,
Mine are
I'm
not
thinking,
perfect
would it
either.
be
It's
nice to have this snow white
yeah, like on
teeth? And
TV. Yeah.
yeah, I
There
don't
was
know.
one
When
guy
you
in
are grown
particular.
up, you decide if you're willing to invest money into in this perfect smile.
There was one guy in
Think about
particular.
this. Would you be willing
Mhm,
to
mhm.
shell out, let's say, 1,000 euros to go and have the smile yourself?
Hell no. I
No.
mean,
So why should I do it for my son?
yeah,
I'm sure
that's why, because
there are
it's
better, there are
but
wiser ways of spending this money,
yeah, but then the psychological process that is behind this is like, okay, uh it is right now the moment to act, until the teeth grow, and they're let's say imperfect. So now you can prevent a potential whatever, deformation, right? And now it's the moment to act, and it's not your health, it was my health, and I'm
It's not
fully aware.
health. It's
Oh,
not
well,
about
then what is it?
health.
Well, what is it about?
It's
It's
only
about
about
what? It's about
looks.
aesthetic. It's about looks. What if you look like, like a horse?
And it's only one tooth. With my younger son, I don't know, at some point, what was it? His jaw was not growing fast enough.
Yeah, yeah, this is a typical problem. Yeah.
So what do you do? I mean, yeah, his teeth are not perfect, but he's perfectly happy. He doesn't really care.
Yeah, but and so that is the dilemma that is in front of many people. I know these are the first world problems, right? Like,
Yeah,
you want to have
yeah.
like perfect smile, perfect teeth. which
Do
I
you
guess
remember
you're not
dental
even.
care when you were a child? What it was like?
I was lucky, to have a really strong teeth. Like I never had any serious problem with my teeth. Maybe I had a toothache once in my life. Like it's something that was really,
Hmm.
pounding and something like, like this, but it happened just maybe once. And so if you ask me about my dental care in my childhood, I have no memories. It didn't exist almost like.
And you turned out fine, I would say. When you look
Yeah,
at yourself in the mirror,
yeah,
you
I'm
don't,
fine.
you know,
Yeah,
you don't
yeah,
get
I'm not.
shocked every time.
I'm used to this face in the mirror, in the first place. So I guess you can get used to everything. But yeah, but that is it. That is it. And that is about the dental care. I remember when my boy was really young, like 1 or 2, something between. Um, uh, Somehow I can't remember. There was some issue with his little finger, little toe, you know. And again, there was a so-called specialist who was recommending using some kind of, don't know what, again, some kind of correction, of that, which of course was like this one was easy to see through, it was total ass.
With children,
Unnecessary.
when I hear that people say that today it's very expensive to have children, but of
Hmm.
course it will be expensive if you buy, in our shops, there is bottled water for people,
Hmm.
and there is
Hmm.
bottled water for children, which is 3 times more expensive. And there is everything for children, sausages for children,
Yeah, yeah, of
mayo for
course.
children. I'm
Hmm.
telling you, everything.
Yes,
And
you're right.
usually it's more natural. It's less, let's say, not necessarily healthier, but let's say less harmful, and
Yes.
all kinds of stuff. And of course, if you buy only this stuff, it's extremely expensive to have a child. But it's just a person, okay? He can drink water,
Yeah.
the same water that I drink.
Yeah, I mean, about water, right now, I even doubt buying bottled water, which is, given that the tap water is totally fine. And if you go to an average French bistro, you get tap water. Tap
Well, in Ukraine,
water.
it's not like that. So you have to get your
Yeah,
water somewhere. But if tap water is fine, then drink tap water and give it to your
yeah,
child.
yeah.
What's wrong?
I mean,
He's
yeah.
just a person like you.
Yeah, so yeah, that's what it is, So my treatment right now is also expensive, like everything I think in dental care.
Yeah, sometimes I think
But
you're facing a choice, have one sell your kidney or have good
I'm
teeth.
lucky to be in the position that I may consider that for me it's more a moral choice than existential. I mean, okay, if I
Having
was
your
poor,
having your teeth filled?
no,
So
no, I
more
mean, speaking about
with
my
your
son,
son?
speaking about
Okay.
my son, yeah, yeah. With me, it's different. There's something that needs to be done. Okay, let them do it. But with my son, I think the question is more moral than actually, financial, because okay, we may swallow that, we can swallow that and fine, and carry on doing just fine. But at this mere thought of me shelling out 1,000 for what? For a beautiful smile, and then because I have this kind of projection, where I see this artificial world of TV with people with that white smile. There's one guy in particular. I think I'm going to link a picture in our newsletter. That is on French TV. From time to time, he's running the breakfast TV, I guess, in the morning. Oh my goodness, what did this guy do with his teeth? I mean, they're so shiny that you have to kind of, cover the screen of your TV,
So you
if you
see,
don't
it's
want to get
fixable
blinded.
even when you're an adult. Everything is fixable.
Everything is
And
fixable.
I don't see this question as you frame it like you pay for his future perfect smile, but nobody's giving you. For me, it's always a matter of, am I being, fooled? Because nobody's giving you any guarantees that if you shell out this 1,000
Nobody.
euros, it will
But at
have.
the same time, there is certain asymmetry of information because I don't know.
I don't
know.
know.
I'm not
And
an
for me,
expert.
it will
I don't know
have to.
how.
It's like with everything today. I have to go and do my own research because everybody, what they really want is my money. Everybody's after my money.
Yeah,
So I have
of
to go
course,
and do
of
my
course.
research. And I simply don't have time to do that. So if it was, really your kidney, maybe I would go and do this research. But if what is at stake? A vague chance of having a perfect smile? Sorry, no. No.
Yeah, great.
Not in my
I
dilemma for
totally
me. I'm sorry.
subscribe to this logic. I wonder what will my wife say.
That's your wife
Uh,
after all.
yeah, I mean, you have to listen to your
It's
wife.
actually a real tragedy when in a family two parents have totally different parenting style. One is, for example, this helicopter parent, and the other one is this, what is this, laissez-faire, the French word.
Laissez-faire.
Yeah,
Laissez-faire.
like as long as the kid is healthy, dressed,
You mean
fed.
that all right. So the helicopter parent is more like a drone parent because he's hanging low and because to me like helicopter is really far.
Overprotective, and
Yeah.
the one who would
Yeah.
buy only water for children.
Oh yeah,
Oh, then you
this
have a
is really.
problem here.
Yeah. But I think this is, apart from sometimes this being a mental problem, but this is, the product of our civilization, that you have, that water for children. What is it? I mean, unless it's a strawberry flavored
Meat,
water,
yeah. At my
or
butchers, there is meat for children. What else? It's a mięso dla dzieciąt. Oh my
ah!
I
But
just
that means
remember
it's
mięso
soft,
dla dzieciąt.
it's maybe
I don't know.
all right.
I should buy it,
Anyway,
and compare.
so Masha, my idea is how about starting a podcast, a paid podcast for children? A spin-off, with even simpler
No.
language.
Thinking out
And
loud for children,
yeah,
because
thinking
there's
out
water
loud for
and
children.
water for
Yeah, you're
children.
right.
Thinking out.
And that would actually be, with even simpler language, with even more humor, if that is even possible. And and that would be like I set the price $2 per episode. Come on.
Yeah, you want your children,
And
after
your
all, to
children,
have.
of course, you want them to have good education, don't you?
Yeah.
Because otherwise they won't learn. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
now my future is secured. Okay, let's do that.
right. Fine. So with that, Masha, being said, I've got one more breaking news. My speech, my concept of a speech, not my speech, it's not yet ready,
Born.
has been accepted by Innovate ELT. So I'll be a plenary speaker for the second time in a row, back to back, in Barcelona, because I
It's
spoke.
not France. You were going to.
No. That is in
No?
Barcelona. Innovate ELT
Okay.
is in Barcelona. Yes. TESOL France is the one that is here in Paris. But I received an email yesterday. Congratulations, you have been
It's in
selected.
May, yeah?
It's in May,
You just
exactly.
like
So,
being in Spain in May. I understand that.
yeah, I mean, this is part
It's a
of the
nice
reason,
place to be.
yeah, it's definitely a nice place to be. But, I always do it to myself, I kind of send, an application and then secretly hope they won't pick me because it means stress, it means preparation, and you will suffer too because I'll be panicky probably around the 20th of May. Like,
I'm
oh, I
asking me, can
forgot
you
not
please
the
write my issue of the newsletter?
yeah. Because I'm yes. All right. So that is the news, and I think I'm going also to write about it. I am actually writing a little bit about it in our current newsletter. Masha, I'm,
Okay.
I'm doing some crazy stuff right now because I haven't written even a word yet. But
Ah,
all right.
it's Friday. Okay,
Well, yeah, let's hope. Let's hope
let's
the
hope.
text will appear. All right. Great. So that's it. Is it time
The
for the
rant is
thinking out
over.
loud?
Now
The
let's
rant is
try
over.
and
Yeah, yeah. And uh, let's go to the thinking out loud proper, maybe. That would actually
let's
be good.
deliver.
All right. So since you asked me this fantastic question about taste last time, and wow, we were really far, far away from even completing that conversation. I don't know if it's even possible, but it was great, and I still have some ideas about it. But today, I'd like to take you to a totally different region and a totally different conversation. Are you ready?
Just do it.
Round one.
I'd like to ask you, what is the difference and relation between having cold heart and having cold
Cold
blood?
feet.
Cold feet. Cold heart and cold blood. Uh, how do you think are they related, and what does it actually mean to be cold-hearted and to be cold-blooded?
I know there is a song Hot Blooded by Roxette, of
Hot-blooded,
course.
apparently. All right.
I think I'd like to have a little bit colder blood.
Would you like to have
It
a little bit
means,
colder heart?
oh, sometimes I do. Um, cold blood. I guess it means that you're very um, rational, composed person. You make your decisions are based on logic.
But you think
You don't
you think
fall
it's a
victims of emotions very often. That's
Mhm.
cold blood.
But do you think it's a permanent
I'm
feature
seeing I'm seeing yeah, definitely. I'm seeing a person
all
who
right.
okay. For example, I already probably developed this PTSD thing because whenever there is a loud sound somewhere, I startle. And my son tells me that you're not going to live till 50 if you don't do something about it. And yesterday he used his physics teacher as an example. He tells me, you know how he reacts to, for example, siren, air raid alarm? He just does this. Okay, let's stand up and go. And probably he reacts in the same way to explosions. So I think this person, a cold-blooded person, when it's some sort of a crisis or any sort of commotion, he would be very composed. He would be the one to, find the guy who, please call the ambulance, do this, do that. He will maybe be,
Wait, this is actually a virtue.
yeah,
I
I
mean,
see it as a virtue.
I can't now, and when I think about it, I can't find a weak spot in that. I mean, having cold blood is cool. There's, I think, another concept, but I think it's equivalent. You may correct me if I'm wrong. To be cool-headed, right? It's pretty much the
Yeah,
same.
have cool head.
Yeah,
Maybe this is what I'm describing.
but I guess it's the same. I mean,
Cold
except
blood.
except um, you can also
Can
commit a crime in cold blood. And
Yeah, that's
that
what
is,
I
by the
was
way, a
going to say.
title
Do
of
you
a
think this?
fantastic book by Truman Capote, if you don't know. Fantastic. Do you
Do you
know
think the
this?
person can fall in love if he has cold blood? Is he capable of any
Oh,
strong feeling? If you have.
I mean, it's definitely impossible with a cold heart, but with a cold blood. What is actually what is that to have a cold blood? Do you think you are immune to no, I think you are still a feeling person, except you don't panic. You show some amazing self-control. But yeah, you're right. This could be an obstacle in falling in love, because you never maybe show your emotions, and nobody knows what you're really feeling. Very good
But on the
question.
other
And
hand, maybe this person will fall in the best form of love possible when you are able to, I don't know,
you mean platonic love?
no, compartmentalize stuff, and you know which emotions are hurting you and which are not, something like that,
You mean
You
that
don't become needy, or
because you are always above, like, because you always have a total control over emotions. Is that what you mean? So you never actually get angry. You never, throw plates at your spouse.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, having cold blood, I think, is a virtue, except you could be also doing evil stuff in cold blood. I mentioned the book by Truman Capote, great book, and I recommend it to everybody who hasn't read it yet. Two criminals broke into a farmhouse somewhere in the American South, and they killed a family of four, I think, if I remember correctly, including children, of course. And they killed them with shotguns. They executed them with shotguns. For what? To find $50 in the house. $50, no more. And that's what they found. This was a real story. Truman Capote read it on in a newspaper, and then these two criminals were caught not long after, and they were sentenced to death. They were waiting for their capital punishment for 10 years in prison. And Truman Capote was visiting them. He even developed some kind of romantic relationship with Rick or Perry, one of these guys. And you know what is really interesting about this book is, I mean, there are a lot of things that are interesting. First, that it's actually fact-based, that he couldn't finish until they were executed, so it took him 10 years to finish the book. And second was that, during the conversations with these guys, he actually, I mean, when you read it, you see that these guys are not monsters. I mean, they have feelings. They are not cold-hearted. I mean, they acted like the title of the book, in cold blood. They killed a family. They executed even children. But somehow, over the course of time, you read these conversations with them and you feel like, wow, these guys are not so bad after all. And of course, they couldn't avoid the capital punishment in the end. But it's an amazing book,
Yes, but this being cold-blooded, when you kill somebody, it's not. I mean, I can give you an example of any Western film when the main character decides to, I don't know, kill somebody because he can't find any legal means to bring this. I mean, he knows the person is a bad guy, whatever they did, but he
like
takes
Rambo?
basically okay, maybe
Who's
Rambo.
chasing Murdoch? That was Rambo too, I guess.
There are plenty of examples when you decide to take
Murdoch,
matters in your
I'm
own,
coming for you.
in your
That's what I mean.
hands, and you basically kill the person in cold blood. It's not you're not in this state of affect. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just you do what you think you must do because nobody else can do it.
I'll
So
even say that
being
cold, keeping your blood cold is somehow opposite to acting in affect, right?
yes.
It's like you're totally in control of everything. You know what you're doing, but you're calm.
So this
and you do it.
characteristic is not good or bad in itself. It's that the guys
Yes.
you were talking about, they probably maybe psychopath or I don't know, but something must be wrong with you if you kill people like this, you know.
Yeah, without a blink of an eye.
So,
But I wonder if, Masha, if that is actually because, you know, normally, if you think about psychopaths, they are cold-hearted, because you didn't actually explain what does it mean to have a cold heart, and that is to feel nothing, right?
yeah.
And do you think that if you feel nothing, you have automatically cold blood because you feel nothing?
Well, no, they get
So this cold
agitated
heart is
very,
pumping cold blood because you know it's emotionless.
but there are psychopaths who don't feel empathy towards their victims, but they can get agitated very easily.
Exactly.
They experience different emotions, like, I don't know, hate or rage.
Fear.
Oh,
Yeah.
fear, of course.
Yeah, I mean, because, you know, being cold-hearted doesn't mean that you're fearless.
No.
It doesn't mean that you are just, you know, absolutely not. You are just
It's not
cruel
that
in
you
the
don't
sense
feel anything. You can't experience certain emotions like empathy, like probably love. That's what it means. Not that you feel nothing at all.
I think it was Yulia, our guest from a few weeks ago, who told me that a cold-hearted person doesn't cry on Titanic, or didn't cry on Titanic, or watching Lion
Well,
King.
tell me you cry. Do you cry?
I didn't. I can't remember now, but I definitely had my throat kind of, you know,
tight.
Yeah, I was close.
That you have seen it is already something, you know.
It's cold blood. That is no, but you know, yeah, if you have no emotion, if you feel no emotions, especially certain type of emotions, it's not all emotions. It's very important that you pointed this out, because you don't feel basically emotions connected with other people. You don't sympathize, right? Or empathize, I guess.
Yeah. Do you agree that if you don't cry when you watch Titanic, you are cold-hearted?
No, because there might be a lot of you know, it's the same. I could ask you if there's a beggar in the street and you ignore him or her, are you cold-hearted? Or
Yeah.
if a child asks you for another toy and you say no, are you cold-hearted?
Oh yes, can you please buy me only water for children? No. So I guess a person might have
Oh, look,
their
it's a water for
reasons.
children.
Yeah, for not crying at the end of Titanic.
Yeah, I think because, you know, it's more complex than that, because, you know, you might have, you know, when we speak about Titanic, I'm tempted to play Celine Dion right now, but I know they will actually punish us for playing, you know, and breaking
You have to pay.
copyrights. Yeah, you have to pay. You have to pay everywhere, you know, at a dentist and making a podcast. But but I think that you may actually watch Titanic and cry inside, but don't show it. And that means that your heart is not cold, you know. You feel a lot inside, but you're just not showing it. That's what men do, real men.
Oh,
They cry inside.
yeah, and then they get cancer. No, it's better to cry if you want to cry, but no, that's very similar. You still cry, it doesn't matter inside or outside. But some people, they just are very good at no, it's not that they just know this is fiction. I mean, this is based on true story, but this is fiction.
Yeah, you rationalized,
Leo
right?
DiCaprio never actually died.
Yeah.
And they
Yeah.
just see it very differently, and that's it. There are people like that. Why would they cry?
But you mean that you basically rationalize, right?
I don't know what to call
It's just like not being
rationalize.
afraid watching horror movies, you know, because you know, this is just,
Yeah,
you know,
Yeah.
It's there to make me feel afraid, but I'm not, because I know that there is a cameraman standing right behind, and there's the whole crew, and this blood is actually a ketchup.
Yeah, they don't just take things so close to heart, You only have this much of tears, and you need to use them sparingly, basically. So when your mother dies, this is when you cry, not when Leo DiCaprio is dying. Oh no!
I have a problem. I have a problem with my wife.
Oops. Maybe this is
Because
a good time to end.
we can't watch movies together, because she's crying even when we watch a documentary,
when the
or
credits.
yeah, it's enough that there's some music, some let's say music, touchy music, it's not maybe an
Okay.
upbeat, but sentimental music, and that's enough for her to shed a tear
Okay, why is it
or to
bothering
cry.
you?
It's bothering me because we can't watch movies, because we are watching movies, and I look at her and she's crying, and she's
So she's
reaching
crying
for.
very loudly, or what? Why is it bothering
No,
you?
but it's sad if you see a person next to you crying, and what happened? You want to ask, and actually nothing happened. There was this music,
But
and I see her reaching
after how long
for
have you been married?
handkerchiefs. Well, it's been what? Oh my goodness, Masha. Let me calculate quickly, but that will be 9 years this year, I guess.
Well, you know that she will cry, so just let her cry. Just have
But don't you think it's
tissues.
painful to watch? I mean, would you like
After
to watch
9
and
years,
cry?
you probably got used to it.
That
So
is called
just
hard. That is called hard. I will not allow this. That's why I don't buy Netflix, and I don't allow for
so you
TV in our house.
never watch movies together.
We hardly ever. I mean, you know me. I mean, I'm not a movie man.
Ah, okay.
I'm
So
not watching movies, but this
that's
is
a
maybe
very
part
little
of the
problem
reason.
then.
This is part of the reason. We don't. For example, if it happens that we have time in the evening, we don't really turn on TV and watch something, a movie, because I know it's going to end in tears, and so on. So yeah. So it's better to I don't know, to have a conversation, or yeah. But definitely, movies are dangerous for my wife. If she's listening, I want to say I love her a lot.
Okay.
But coming back, there is one more thing, one more concept, and I don't know where does it situate itself here, but there's the concept of having a thick skin.
Mm-hmm.
And I was thinking about the people, for example, who work in a morgue, and they see dead bodies daily, right? Daily, they have I want to say fresh delivery of dead bodies. And I guess that, or it's the same with of course the people working in the slaughterhouses and so on. Places where, they where ordinary people just wouldn't, bear working.
So this person, after a day in a morgue, comes home, watches Hatiko, and cries like hell.
You think it's possible?
Yes.
So how come they turn off
They
their
become insensitive
emotions?
to certain things. It's like doctors, for example. I mean, if you
Mhm.
don't grow thicker skin, I mean,
Mhm.
you're going to be in real trouble if you're a doctor.
Yeah, for sure.
After
Or a
some time.
nurse, right? And I know, panicking when you see blood or something.
And if you grow thicker skin, you will be able to watch more movies with your wife.
Yeah, it's a matter of growing a thicker skin, but it's not. You say it's my problem, not hers.
Yeah.
Maybe she
There's
should
nothing
grow a
wrong with
thicker
her.
skin.
No, there's nothing wrong with her. This is how the person experiences
But
something.
wait,
She wants to
there's
cry,
nothing wrong
she
crying.
cries. Nothing
There's
wrong with
nothing.
crying.
Oh, it's actually like a good thing. I don't know.
Yes.
I thought it's, but who likes to cry? I mean, it's not a nice thing to do. I mean,
Yeah,
you
but
know.
if you need to cry, it's much better to cry than not to cry. Or
If you
then
need to, but this cry is actually induced by, you know, this music. This is a trick of the
it's
director.
music evokes certain emotion. This emotion requires crying, and the person cries. And that's
And
it.
it's
The
like a
emotion,
catharsis.
yeah, it's healing in a way,
All right. I didn't know actually,
liberating.
I mean, but I understand that sometimes, yeah, there are moments. I remember, the little movies that, or the few movies that I watched. I remember a Straight Story by David Lynch. I don't know if you know this movie. A guy,
Probably not.
80-year-old or close, uh, has his driving license taken away because of poor sight, but he's able to buy a John Deere lawnmower, a little tractor,
Hmm.
and he drives this little lawnmower to his brother who's living in another state. So it's like, I know, whatever, 500
Hmm.
kilometers, maybe more.
Hmm.
And he hasn't seen his brother for over 10 years. His brother is around the same age, also, and an elderly man. And they fell apart because they had some argument, and they haven't exchanged a word. But then he learned, I think, something's wrong with his health, and he wanted to reconnect.
Hmm.
And so he takes that lawnmower and he drives that awful, and he has, of course, lots of adventures on the way with this lawnmower breaking down. Other people help him out. He helps other people out too. And in the end, there's no time in the movie, I mean, of course, it's the director's idea, but he just arrives, and he calls his name. And there's a moment when we kind of think that his brother's already dead, but he opens the door of that run-down house, uh, holding what's the, after a stroke, you get these crutches. They're not crutches,
Crutches.
they're crutches. All right. Yeah. So, he goes out on the porch and he sees his brother, and he thinks, what is this guy doing here? But then in the corner of his eye, he sees the lawnmower and he's just asking, did you come here by that? And that's all. I guess he's forgiven instantly, right? And that moment, I was, when I see that, it makes me want to
Did you
cry.
cry? Okay,
I
made you
guess
wanna cry.
I covered that, I hid
The
it.
real man would.
I
Yeah.
was able, yes. But yeah, this is a really, really a great
Movie.
moment in a movie, because I know that, of course, it has been directed, I know, but it's not in the way like Steven Spielberg is doing, with this, American anthem playing and the flag and, the fallen soldiers, and we are all, very brave and grateful and whatever. Yeah. But this was really, this is the right way to evoke emotions. And it can
It
cut
is.
through even the thickest skin. All right, great. Our cold heart and cold blood. This is what I guess it is, unless there is more to it with cold blood. I thought it's a virtue. It's not a virtue. It's not a virtue.
Cold blood.
No, I think it's a quality that may seem virtuous, but like we mentioned, it could be used to do awful things, in cold blood. It's basically, cold blood means that you don't
I don't think
panic,
that these guys did it because
don't
they
freak
have
out.
cold blood. They did it because there's something wrong with them and they just happened to be to do it in cold blood.
You talk about Truman Capote's story. Well, go
Yeah.
and read the book, because I think uh, the conversations with them afterwards, they revealed that these guys were not in fact monsters. Of course, they were criminals. They were, people who needed money, and they saw one very easy way to earn it. But I don't know. It's deeper. Human psychology is more complex than that, I guess, and the book is showing it. That
Okay,
you
if
know
you had to choose between having a cold heart and having cold blood, what would you choose?
Oh, for sure, cold blood, you know. I mean, but then again, I don't think, contrary to you, I don't think that this is a feature of character. I think it comes temporarily, you know. It comes and goes, this cold blood. You may keep it for some time, but not throughout your life. And I know it, for example, because when I drive a car, and even, you know, very, very recently, I had a situation. It was my fault. I made a mistake, you know, because I was on a highway. There was a car behind me flashing lights, you know, like, you know, move away, you know, coming through. And I didn't look into the mirror on my right side. And I just, you know, changed the lane, but not knowing. I mean, I was, you know, I mean, when you drive, you have all these, you know, strange illusions, you know, that you think you know what's happening around you, but you don't. And you know, I was pretty sure that the lane is clear, so I can, you know, make the maneuver. And I turned right, and it turned out that there was a car right behind me. You know, so what I did was I actually uh, probably scared uh, the shit out of
Shit
the
out
guy
of him.
behind me. Yeah, yeah. And so he was, you know, he was
Honking.
of course honking, and he got really pissed off, you know, the guy behind me. And he started to take a revenge on me, and he started to block me, you know. So he passed by,
Overtook.
and he started to block me, yeah, on each lane, you know. If I wanted to go left, he was left. You know, it's right, right. You know, so he was like,
Ooh.
he was really pissed off, you know. And I understand his pain, because I probably did something, you know, I scared him a lot, and probably was totally unfair what I did, and so on. It was my bad. I agree, but you know, the way he was acting was really, I guess, maybe he wanted to, you know, just
Immature.
vent. Immature, yeah. It was, I guess. But I mean, what else? I mean, was he supposed to simply, you know, agree to, you know, me, almost? I mean, putting his life in danger. But you know, but in that moment, I was totally cold blooded. You know, the guy is blocking me on the left, I'm taking the right. He's blocking on the right, I'm taking the left. Until, you know, I just I took him over, you know. and
But I would say
and
you are a cold-blooded guy.
I was, at that moment, I was even surprised, you know, because first it was my fault. I should have, of course, it was very difficult to stop the car and say I'm sorry, you know. Simply, I'm sorry, you know. I This is what I should have done, perhaps, but this was a highway, so you know, it's not so easy to pull out and you know, have a conversation. But instead I reacted in that very cold-blooded manner, like, okay, I mean, this guy is air to me, you know. You are, okay, blocking me, I see you're angry, but sorry, guy, you know,
Yeah,
I'm
but I would
running
say
on.
that generally you are a cold-blooded person.
You mean, no, I don't think I'm like this, you
No?
know. I that I don't apologize, or that
But it doesn't mean that you don't apologize if you're cold-blooded.
no,
If
I
you're
know, but in that
cold-hearted, you
case,
don't apologize.
yeah, but in that case, you know, I even know where's this phrase coming from, cold blood, because I felt my blood was kind of, I was so cool.
So you
I
always
was
manage to keep your
so
wits about you. That's what it
composed that
means.
I even surprised myself, you know, with that. First, you know, I did something bad, and then I was so composed, like Rick and Perry in Truman Capote's book, you know. I mean, I was in total control of the situations. I could sway left and right with my car, you know, until I basically left the guy in my rearview mirror again, you know. But then again, I think I didn't feel good with this, you know. It's not like I'm cold-hearted, because I regret that till this day. And if I knew who that was, I would send him a letter, you know, apologizing. I'm sorry, you know, I put your life at risk. It was probably very stressful for you. Except it could have been an asshole, of course, you know. But doing the same to other people daily, you know. But I didn't know that, of course, and once again, but once again, my reaction on that particular day, in this particular moment, surprised myself. Even I surprised myself. I was so composed. I was, I continued to drive, and yeah, there was an obstacle on the way. I just, ignored it, and so I definitely, and I almost felt like I'm unable to get angry because I wasn't angry, I wasn't even scared. I wasn't shocked. The guy is, acting strange in front of me. But I was like, you are nothing. You don't exist. You are air for me, And yeah, I was shocked, how I handled this. But I'm not proud of myself for sure. So if the person is listening to us, because we have lots of listeners, right? I say I apologize. I say I'm sorry.
But on the other hand, why is
I
something
know
not
that
to be
in being in his shoes, I
okay?
would
You're
get
not
really
proud
pissed
of
off.
doing what you did, like changing
Mhm.
lanes without making sure that
Yeah,
it's clear.
yeah.
But why not be proud of how you reacted? Because at that moment, the tables turned, and it was you who were in danger, and maybe your family was in your car.
No, I was actually alone, but
Okay, doesn't matter.
yeah, you're right. You're right. It was, I think, but it was my body that did it. I'm sorry to say that it wasn't my choice. That okay, let's stay cold-blooded, and let's deal with the situation I'm having. It was simply dictated by the spur of the moment. It's like I acted like this.
So it was you.
It was me, but it was rather my spine, not my cortex deciding.
Which is a
So it was
part of
this,
you.
which is a part of me, of course. But then again, I don't feel sort of
You
responsible
always
for just
had
like,
it in you, but you never knew
yeah, exactly, exactly. Who knows,
you're
what is
capable
my
of.
potential? Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe I should actually join special forces. I always admire these guys.
Oh, you're
They
welcome.
enter
Come to Ukraine.
they enter a dark building. There are hostages, and let's say 3 terrorists and 5 hostages, and they are able to shoot these guys right between the eyes without a blink of an eye, in a dark place. They have a split second to decide who is who, you know? It's amazing. This is called
Yeah.
blood par excellence. Yeah. All right. So, Masha, with that being said, thanks a lot for the conversation. It was a pleasure. I wish we had it offline, but it's been always a pleasure talking to you, and so that's why we decided to maybe hit the record button, one day, and save these conversations on a hard drive.
Surprisingly, 5,000 people have already listened
It's not
to
like 5,000 people, to be honest, because
5,000
it's
times they
5,000
were played
plays. Yeah,
by one
yes,
person. It
exactly.
was you, of course. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. I was playing this on a loop, all the episodes. Thanks a lot
Make me
to the
feel that
best.
it's not a waste of time.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, Masha, thanks a lot to the best conversation partner ever and the best audience ever, our listeners.
Yes, thank you, our dear audience. And thanks everyone, for staying with us. And this was another episode of the Thinking Out Loud podcast. Yet another. We are a factory, like you say.
Pretty soon we are factory. Yeah, that's a hashtag, factory, and pretty soon we are hitting the episode number 100. We better start thinking about the celebrations.
Another
It's
celebration.
gonna happen somewhere, somewhere in the summer, I guess. We have to calculate this.
Okay, let's think about it. So thank you everyone, and stay tuned for the next one. Bye.
Bye bye.